I'm Captain Stanford with Texas Fish Tips. It's your weekly fishing report. Guys, out here on the South Jetty, we're still catching nice big old bull reds, about 35, 40 foot of water. Live finger mullet if you can get them. Cut mullet works, cut shad, or if you get out here on the north side of the North Jetty, about 300 yards off this beach, there's been some nice menhaden hanging out there. And I've seen some schools of tarpon out there and just laying out there, just munching on them. They're turning on their sides, not even caring if I was driving next to them. But there is some good tarpon out here about 300 yards off this beach. And then been several schools of menhaden all the way down through here. If it's not too windy, you got to get out here early. But there has been some good schools of menhaden through here. So you just look for the birds, you'll find those. Then whenever that happens, look for the beach if you can fish it, if it's not too rough, and you catch some reds and trout. Now, get back to these jetties over here. On the north side of that north beach, it's not as rough when that south wind is blowing. And it's a good place to hide out, and there's some good fish. There's anything from sheep's head, black drum, there's been triple tail, there's been Spanish mackerel, you name it, there's jacks, there's just about everything else. Shrimp catches it all, but if you can get you some finger mullet, which are running up and down this bank, right down these rocks, right next to them, get you a small cast net, catch up in there, you can get them. There's always been mullet up in there. There's some big trout mixed in there with them early in the morning, but they're going to hit before 8 o'clock. After 8 o'clock, you might as well pack it up and go home. But if you want to catch fish out here in the afternoon or later, it's going to be in the deeper water. Same way over here on that south shore, on that south bank, that south jetty, there's some good fish. You bank fishermen, it's a good place to fish. Boaters, it's kind of hard to fish this area, and there's actually more fish right there. There's a lot more current over inside this channel right here. You can fish here, but it's going to drag your lines out. You're going to get hung up a lot. Now, if you get over here in the Lydia Ann Channel, right here on incoming tide, right down through your Lydia Ann Channel, there's been some redfish. Right up by this bank, chunking croaker, or you can chunk some menhaden up in there, and they'll eat it. And there's been some trout right here at the end of the Lydia Ann Channel, right on down through here, all on croaker. If the croaker not working, throw a free line shrimp out there. Popping cork works pretty good, especially right on that edge of that grass. And there's been some good trout. A lot of dinks, but there is some good trout. Same way as Quarantine Shoreline, all the way down through has been holding some nice trout. You set up and fish. One of my favorite spots is right here on Corpus Christi Bayou, right here on this bank. Set up about 5, 6 foot of water. Throw your croakers towards the bank, let the wind carry them out. Sit there and twitch them a little bit. There is going to be some dolphins there, and you're going to get mad when they eat your big 24-inch trout, but that's not much we can do about that. But anyways, come on down through here. The redfish are going to be up on the bank, way up on the bank, about a foot, 2 foot of bank or water up here. The trout about 5, 6 foot of water out here a little deeper. But there's been some good trout all down through here, and there's been some that's over 24 inches that you have to throw back. Okay, over in Mud Island, right out here in front of good old Clorox. Whitefish has been catching some good redfish. Out in that deeper water, there's been some trout. But we're catching the reds on artificial right down through here. Anywhere's down through here. If you'll see a little opening like this one, any of these little openings down through here, that water pours through. And that's where you need to do most of your wade fishing. Not necessarily in the channel, but they'll be out and mixed out and around it. But there has been some really good reds all down through here. Same with Allen's Bite. A lot of time people park right here, but that's actually the best spot to fish. But if you'll park out here and wade fish to it, you'll be a lot better off. Same out here, there's a lot of nice trout right out there in the deeper water. And up on the bank, same thing, there's reds right up down through here. Anywhere's all up and down through, they're scattered. This deeper water, these hot temperatures, they'll be out there in deeper water. All right, good old Klondike's. This little deeper channel right down through is holding some nice black drum and some redfish all down through here. But anywhere's down through here early morning, it cut mullet, cut ladyfish if you get it. Cut menhaden's working pretty good. Anywhere's down through for redfish. Same way over here by number 2, there's this little cut right here. It's been holding some nice fish along this island, but in the afternoon they get in that deeper water right there a little later in the day. Now, if you happen to be out here around Con Brown Harbor this weekend, there's saltwater Swedish tournament going on right here at Chandler's Landing. There's going to be over 100 women fishing it. There's some prizes, really nice ones, some giveaways. There's going to be some food. There's going to be a big shrimp boil, all kinds of good stuff. I'll be out there. But come on out, have a good time. Friday is the check-in from 3 to 6. Captain's meeting at 6. Saturday, the weigh-in starts at 12. You can start weighing your fish in. We'll have the prizes. About 6 o'clock, we'll be out of there. But there's going to be all kinds of drawings, all kinds of things going on with it. Lots of fun to be had. Come out and see us. All right, Indian Point Pier, still catch some nice fish. If you don't have a boat, that's a great place to go, but I suggest going in the evening. That wind will be blowing this direction. Get out here on the end of it, throw towards the bank, let that line carry towards that bank. Also, if you get out here early in the morning, you can wade fish this whole bank down through here. There's some really good fish. There's some good trout about chest deep of water. Up close to the bank, there'll be reds. They run up and down the shore. Sometimes they're holding one spot, sometimes they're just moving. Find you some of these piers, not necessarily on the piers, but around those piers. Sometimes there's some pretty good fish to be had. Like I say, croaker out here in this deeper water for your trout. Redfish be up on that bank. And also along those pylons, there'll be some black drum mixed in there. And there'll be a sheep's head every once in a while mixed in there with it. But there's been some good fish all down through here. Now, if it's not too windy, get out on these wells out here in Corpus Christi Bay. That water's a little turbid right now, a little muddy because of that wind, but the fish are still there. We've had some triple tail, we've had some trout. There's still some black drum. Every once in a while, you'll lay into a big old 30-inch black drum out there. Some bigger ones, but if you want a tournament drum, that's a good place to find one. Especially for saltwater sweeties this weekend, they're going to need one. Anyhow, these big old rigs out here usually hold the best fish. The small ones will hold them as well. They're just not as beat up as much. And we're catching those fish on croaker. If they're not eating the croaker, throw a live shrimp. They'll chew on that too and free line it. Thanks for watching. I'm Captain Doug Stanford.